A good seminar. We're going to talk about wealth. It's about money, or is it really? That's the real question. All right. So what we're going to do is we'll talk about the great manifester that you are. You know, of course, when I work with individuals, and there's this common belief system that there's something wrong with you, and the truth is there's nothing wrong with you. Your wealth that you have today, you're very successful at it, however little or however much you have. Because I work with a lot of people who, people look at them and think they're very wealthy, extremely wealthy, but they're not so wealthy inside their own head. Because we have this tendency, we want to find something to complete us. Something to fulfill us. Something to say, hey, I made it. Or, hey, I'm somebody. Reminds me of a 62-year-old man who was in my office. And, this guy has 2 PhDs and a master's in something else. I said, what's wrong with you? Seriously, what's wrong with you? And he goes, I'm just not smart enough. And he starts to cry. And I said, the magic question, how do you know? And he goes back to a memory of being in the 2nd grade where his teacher said, you're just like your brothers, you'll never amount to anything, you're stupid. And so all his life, he's been trying to prove that she was wrong, which meant she was right. So it's interesting how we will operate within our world. My chair is like slowly going down. So here it is. We talk about wealth, and having money you think is going to make your life better. And if I look at my life currently, you'd think, wow, if I were to see my life 20 years before, and I would look into the looking glass and see I'm in Australia speaking to people or traveling around the world doing the work that I do and getting paid to speak. I couldn't even stand in front of class. I mean, I was shy. I definitely would never be in front of class. All right, so now I'm doing something that is beyond my greatest potential back at that moment. But there were some things that helped create what I am today. And of course there's a lot of people who've been to seminar after seminar after seminar, who take the class after class after class, and yet, some of these classes make you feel good, rebirthing therapy. I find that very interesting. The first time I ever heard of it, I worked with a lady, and she said, well, I've been through the big vagina and fell into the swimming pool. I'm thinking, what is that? I'm not really into big vaginas or swimming pools, but I'm thinking, what therapy will create such a scenario? Because they're thinking, if I just reborn myself somehow, all my shit will disappear. Now, granted, the cake and cookies after the rebirthing experience is nice, but does it really change what the problem is? Sitting in a sweat lodge, beating drums and singing Kumbaya, is it really going to change your problem? Massage. I like massage. I'm a massage therapist. It feels really great. But will it really change your problem? Writing it on a piece of paper, burning it, tying it to a balloon and letting it go, does your problems really go away that way? Sit in a sweat lodge and doing meditation and vegetation and deep trance work, does that really change your problem? It feels good, but what is your problem? There is no problem. Why is it that we have what we have, and how do we create something better? And the way to do that is to figure out how your brain works and then change the resources. I always say if you do the little pieces, the foundation, if you do these pieces, everything else changes. Shifts and changes. So that's why you're here, isn't it? You want to figure out how to change and get the results and look for something better. Now there's a lot of stuff out there in the world about how to improve your life, and affirmations are really great, and you're doing all the right things. But how do you get the real riches? How do you get the real wealth? Now, we're going to do both. The cool thing is if you do one area, everything will fall into place. Everything will grow naturally without ever having any work. It's like I heard a conversation this morning out there, or maybe I was a part of it, and they're saying, well, I'm just not really putting myself out there as a therapist because I don't want to be seen, or I don't want to be out there. And I said, listen, don't worry about being out there. Just do the little pieces. What are the little pieces? The pieces that work. So if you would like to be more successful, just be an expert at the little pieces. And the little pieces I'm talking about is the pieces inside your head, the pieces of actually using what you've been taught. Because here it is, we got FasterEFT. FasterEFT, in my opinion, don't tell anybody, especially the other therapists, they do get mad at you, will be the #1 healing modality in the world. And the reason is because it has all the good pieces. It makes sense, it's logical, practical, and your children can use it. Even those who've been through universities and have degrees can use it too. Only if they use it.